Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name's Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us today. We're in Silicon Valley this week, speaking with some of the best and brightest companies in the area. On our program is Larry Owens. He is the Manager of Customer Service and Communications at Silicon Valley Power. Larry, welcome to the show.
Hi.
So let's start out with the basics. Silicon Valley Power, what does your company do?
Well, we're an electric utility, a municipal electric utility. We've been around since the turn of the century, the last turn of the century, 1896. And we serve electricity to the companies and businesses in Santa Clara, the city of Santa Clara.
Now, I'm sure you've seen a boom in just electricity consumption with all the servers and server farms and cloud and all that's happening out here, right?
Absolutely. Power delivered to data centers, independent standalone data centers, now represents about 25% of our sales. And that's really kept us up in our service level through most of this recession.
So utilities are generally able to leverage, or they're able to leverage the growth in the local market. They typically have a monopoly business, so they don't really promote themselves too often, but your company's different, right? You're doing some promotion. What are some of the things that you'd like to get out to the world in terms of what your company does?
Well, part of what's different about us is that we put in an extensive fiber optic network to improve the reliability. You know, we've served the who's who of the high-tech industry for many decades, Intel and Applied Materials and National Semiconductor, in which reliability was key. So in the process of building that fiber network, and this is a common story for utilities, is we all put in dark fiber or fiber to link all of our substations. But in the process, that created a tremendous communication opportunity for us. As we move into the smart grid arena, we're leveraging that fiber network through by backhauling a wireless network that will help us pull that data in and increase the bandwidth of the area. I think a unique thing for us that I want to talk about is that we have been operating a Wi-Fi network in our city for free outdoor access. It's an old system now, and we purchased it at the beginning from a failing company, experimenting, testing with it, and it proved beyond our wildest dreams as a good use for our smart metering program. So now as we move forward, we're going to expand on that network, and not only are we going to support our SVP Meter Connect program, but we're also going to provide free outdoor access to Wi-Fi across our entire community.
And how big is that community?
Well, we're 19 square miles. So again, the who's who of the high-tech industry in many parts of our area, but also a very substantial community throughout Santa Clara.
That's very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's very exciting. It's a great benefit, a side benefit of this technology. So not only will we be able to provide that connectivity, but we'll also be able to connect to virtually any device out in our territory, beginning with the meters, moving on to grid operated controls and switches and monitoring devices. That will move into the water system. It will move into police and fire, being able to communicate, and online permitting, remote field permitting. So you get instant approval on permits from the field.
Now, you mentioned that you'd done some testing and you were very excited with the testing and you're offering free Wi-Fi. Now, the typical person in Silicon Valley, and I'm exaggerating slightly, has about 13 to 15 devices.
Almost.
Yes.
And that's just on their person.
Yeah.
When they get in their car, it's another 6 to 8. What do you do to support, and how do you support so many devices? Probably half of them are streaming Netflix, the other half are streaming Hulu.
Yeah.
Doesn't that tax your systems?
Yes, well, so far the bandwidth has been pretty good. We do limit the amount of throughput at the user level,
Okay.
so that we can keep some control. And we require a browser interface to connect to the system. So machine to machine, you still need to have a user interface to that. This is really meant to support the browsing community, the visitors and the citizens of our territory.
Which is great, you know. And as a visitor, I'm extremely appreciative of having yet another choice for wireless broadband.
Right.
So, what are some of the other ways that you're helping customers that are different than, let's say, other utilities out there?
Well, we happen to enjoy several key things. One is that we have the lowest average rate for electricity in the state of California. That's part of our nature as a nonprofit organization and the investments that we've made over time. We have some of the highest reliability in the nation as well, and that comes from learning how to do electricity right from our largest high-tech customers. We also have very high renewable energy content. Around the 1980s, we decided not to be dependent on the volatility of fossil fuels, which we've seen cycles throughout the time. So our renewable energy content is now close between 25 and 30%.
What do you use?
Principally it's geothermal, but there's also wind and hydroelectric in there. And our first solar system is going to come on in the next year.
Who are you using for that, if you can say?
For the solar system?
Yeah.
It's a purchase power agreement, and I don't have the name
just
company
curious.
top of mind.
Well, that's very exciting. So what's next? What are some of the things we can expect in the future?
Well, as we begin to build this system and inject bandwidth with fiber backhaul, we're going to start to see all kinds of applications come up, not only for the electric utility, but for city government itself. I mean, we really feel like we're at the forefront of building a smart city network, of which electric metering is just the beginning.
Great. Thanks for being on the program.
All right, I really
Great to meet
appreciate
you.
it.